Hey, it's Eric Powers on Hot 103.7. Everyone, including our youth, are attracted to the excitement, entertainment, and even the money that might come with gambling and gaming. But that can also attract problems. When the fun stops, problems with family, friends, and even thoughts of suicide make problem gaming and gambling a serious issue. If gambling and gaming become a problem for you or someone you love, help is available at the Evergreen Council on Problem Gambling. Call or text the free helpline at 1-800-547-6133 or visit evergreencpg.org.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at ChooseTheRightChapter.com. That's ChooseTheRightChapter.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle.
BECU presents the KISW Financial Advisor. Here to talk money, please welcome Todd. I invented numbers, so I know how this stuff works. Peach.
Indeed, we have gone back all the way to caveman times, and we've seen on the wall, there were numbers. Signed Todd Peach. He did create them. If you have a question for Todd right now, you can give us a call at 206-421-ROCK. You can also text us at 77999. Todd's got over 25 years of experience in the financial services industry. Lots of different positions in both consumer and business lending. He's a fine member of BECU, which if you don't know much about credit unions, man, they are so awesome because of the fact that everybody is a member. You're not just a customer. You actually have a stake in this whole situation. And so places like BECU, you take all the profits, Todd, and you give it back to us.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what we're about, BJ. And credit unions in general. We're co-op. So by definition, everything we bring in goes back to the membership. We don't have stockholders to worry about or to pay.
And yet everything you'd want to do with a bank, you can do with BECU. And if you live, work, or attend school in Washington State, boom, just like that.
Boom.
You're part of BECU. If you walk in, they'll make it happen. And if you got any questions, 206-421-ROCK, text us at 77999.
I think we should throw the ball right into the Reverend Infuego's court because he was telling me that he has a question.
Does he?
I do, because I recently purchased a home using the BECU grant program, which is great for first-time buyers.
Awesome.
And my question now that I actually have to do everything myself with this house, including getting up on the roof, which I had to do recently.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Are home repairs tax deductible, or what could be written off for a house?
Nothing.
Congratulations. Like, not even like the tools and stuff I needed for the house. And
Sorry, Rev.
Yeah.
If him talking about it on the radio on his work now count for it to be
exactly right. Yeah, you know what? It used to be. I mean, the tax laws have changed where you can't. I mean, boy, there's a lot of stuff that we used to be able to write off. We can't write off in general. But how about when you sell the house, Todd? If you keep all your receipts for different improvements you do, does that help you?
It can. I mean, if you're single, it's like $250,000 before you have to worry before you have to worry about any taxes, and if you're married, it's $500,000. But I'd always save receipts for improvements to the home. You put on a new roof or whatever. Then if you go over that $250 or $500, if you're married, then you can use those to lower your capital.
So now when you say gain, that means that's how much more I made than when I bought the house for.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yep.
Man, but they don't count the interest you paid off all those years, do they?
No. So the
government gets you. They get you either way, don't they?
Yeah. So one thing, Rev, when you talk about improvements, there are rebates if you need a new furnace or hot water heater or ducting. So the energy companies do have rebates for that, but you're not going to get. There's no tax deduction for that.
You're on your own, Rev.
And tax laws are changing this year, so more and more people will not be itemizing because they've raised the standard deduction.
Again, they're changing.
Yeah, it's like $24,000 for if you're married. Before you have to have interest and taxes and whatnot over $24,000, or it won't make sense to itemize. So
I have a very important question for Todd.
All right.
I was watching the TV the other day, and watching there's a BECU commercial that went on. Is that your voice on the BECU commercials?
Ooh, yeah.
Awesome! Look at you big star.
I'm like, that's Todd. And my wife's like, that's nice. And I'm like, oh, that's Todd. I know him. It's his voice.
That's our auto event, right? It was the BECU auto event?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. You did a
Other
great
duties
job.
as assigned, right?
Boy, Todd, I thought, you know what? I mean, I thought we'd get a
cheating on
stipend or
us.
something now that you're a big star all over the TV.
Yeah.
Don't forget us when you. I hope you remember us little guys.
It's because of us that BCU knows that you have a sweet voice.
I don't know. You know how things happen. You just don't know, right? You just don't know.
You know what? Usually you're very succinct, and when it comes to financial planning in every question we have, but when it comes to just life in general, Todd, I don't know. I mean, don't ask me. Just ask me what to do with your money. Don't ask me what to do with life. I don't know.
You have no control over it, so just do what you can.
Let me answer a question about Rev trying to scam the system.
Yeah, that's all he's trying to do.
I'm not trying to scam the system. I want to have all the information out there.
Yeah, please. You're a gamer. You're trying to scam the system.
All right, fine. Just a little bit.
206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999 if you have a question from Todd from BECU.org. Chris in Tacoma, you are on the Rock.
Morning, guys.
Morning, Chris.
Morning,
you got
Chris.
a question for Todd? Hello, Chris. Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can now.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear Steve? Okay. Todd, can you hear me?
I got you, BJ.
Okay, good. I think we're all in good shape. Chris, go ahead. Ask your question. Okay, what is happening here?
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
He's done. You know what, Chris? My financial advice to you is to get a new phone.
Yes, one that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
We have a text question.
We have a text question.
Go
Go for
buying
it.
a house, I have very little credit card debt. Should I put down 20% on the house and carry the debt, or 15% down and pay it off?
So she has a little bit of credit card debt?
Yeah.
So you said? I would, not knowing all the details, but I would lean towards getting that 20% down if you can at all, and then getting that credit card debt paid ASAP. The reason for that is you will not have to pay private mortgage insurance.
Yeah.
PMI, they call it PMI. So if you put 20% down or more, you won't be paying the PMI, which can be hundreds of dollars a month. So we can run the numbers. I would sit down with a mortgage advisor, work through those numbers, but I would lean towards getting that 20% down. Then you don't have the PMI, don't have to worry about that. Then we put together a plan to get that credit card debt paid off.
Keeping with the home theme, another person says, I don't know what this is, so correct me if I'm ignorant. Which is better, a HELOC or a home equity loan? Or HELOC?
Yeah, home equity line of credit is the HELOC.
Okay.
And then the other one was
home equity loan.
Home equity loan. So they're essentially the same thing. Home equity line of credit gives you a credit, and you can add a $5,000 loan, then you can do another $10,000 loan, but they essentially work the same way. So, and they may or may not be tax deductible, again, depending on your situation.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
The interest may or may not. So there's going to be fewer people that will be eligible this year.
Let's go to Chris. I think he's back in Tacoma. I think we got him, Steve. Chris.
I am here. I'm here.
God.
All right. Well, before you go away, ask your question to Todd from BECU.org.
Right on. Good morning, Todd.
Good morning, Chris.
So I became a licensed contractor a couple weeks ago, and I'm a little curious as what's the best way or some kind of tutorial of how to do my taxes and how to keep track of all that. And the best, I'm already a BECU member, so I do have a personal account there.
Yeah.
As far as like setting up a business account and just how to do that whole thing, because I'm kind of overwhelmed.
Okay. So you're talking about you're paying your taxes on your business?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you interested in doing your taxes yourself, or are you looking to hire somebody at some point?
Well, at some point I'll probably hire somebody. I'm sure the first year I'll probably do it myself. I'd like to be familiar with it at least.
Okay.
But down the road it'll probably be somebody else.
Okay. Do you do your taxes right now yourself? Before?
My personal taxes, yeah.
Okay. So you can get TurboTax for Business, or there's other software out there as well. And then you can put in your estimated, what you think you're going to make every month. It's going to be important you pay your estimated quarterly taxes. So you plug it in there, and it'll spit out a little form for you that you just take that and send it off to the IRS on a quarterly basis. So those are your quarterly estimated taxes, and then that way you won't be hit with some penalties and whatnot come April. So
I mean, am I better off, like, for example, setting up a specific account in order for me to put the taxes that I collect from my contracts into?
Yeah, I would
keep those quarterly payments.
Yes, I would keep a separate bank account for your business.
Okay.
Yep. So everything for your business runs through that account. All the income that comes through and all the expenses go through that particular account. That'll make it much simpler if you were ever to get audited and when you prepare your taxes.
Hey, Todd, is that a good idea if I'm using my business as a front and I just want to launder the money? Is that also a good idea? Just
sign the rev.
Well,
yeah. I mean,
don't bring me into that.
I'm sure it happens, but yeah.
You know, it's funny, and Todd, I'd like to speak to you on this. So many of us folks, and a lot of guys in general, they want to do everything themselves. And it was funny listening. He's got a new business, and it's a contracting business. Yeah. I would imagine that itself is going to be overwhelming doing all that. And it's amazing how something like doing your own taxes as a business person, people will just want to do everything because they think it saves money or they want to be familiar. But I feel like, you know, if you have a business, the bookkeeping of the business, do you need to really... I wonder if you hurt yourself by trying to do everything in a business where you could farm stuff out that really has nothing to do with the operation of your business. It's just basically keeping your business legal with the government.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If you're not comfortable with something, or if you can make a ton of money by out there, in his case, giving bids and doing the work and have somebody else do the bookkeeping, it can make a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
But when you're just getting started out, though, it's kind of tough, right? You want to, you don't have a lot of extra money sitting around until you got to kind of, work those 12 to 15 hour days. And some of that is the administrative side of things. So.
I'd make that part of the business plan if I had money to invest in, because you hear him saying he's overwhelmed. I know so many people that try to do stuff that really isn't even what the job is. It's like, and I know in my business, folks like to negotiate their contracts, and I just think that's insanity. If I had to do that plus focus on this job, which has nothing to do with negotiations, so I'm happy to have somebody do the stuff that really isn't my job.
Yeah, but when you're just starting out, it's a little tough, right? You don't have a lot of extra money sitting around, so you got to kind of
Vicky will lend him some money.
Pull up the sleeves and do some things that may not, maybe in a year or two that he can farm a lot of that out and focus on growing the business. So.
All right. Well, as usual, time is indeed run out. But if you have missed a call with Todd, you can always email him. You just go to KISW.com, and if you go down, you'll see Todd's smiling face on there. Click on the link, and it will get you a way for you to email Todd. He'll answer any question he can. Plus, a great page that has so many great resources about free stuff the government can give you about financial information.
We have a very time-sensitive question, so if it's okay, I can just throw in one last text.
Throw it in there, buddy.
It sounds like this person needs to know before the week is over.
Okay.
Should I continue to play Ryan Fitzpatrick next week?
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, same
Game
here.
on.
Yeah. He's my starter.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Who's that from, by the way? You?
No. As commissioner of the Dong Masters, I know that I should continue to play Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Play the hot hand, man.
Yeah, I'm not letting him out. He stays forever.
I didn't pick him up, but anyway.
Yeah. So again, if you
did wrong,
if you need fantasy football advice, Todd will do his best as well.
Yeah.
Just go to KISW.com.
I'm in last place. Give me a call.
Do it. Yeah. Oh, you like the Rev?
Hey, me too. And don't forget BECU, man. That's a place where you can, if you live, work, or attend school in Washington State, join that credit union. Do everything a bank can do except have them take care of you at BECU.org. Todd, good seeing you, buddy.
You too, BJ.
I have a question now. This is beyond financial. I want to know what happens when someone gets called out for being a hoe on social media. Oh, yeah, another edition of Facebook Drama. You're going to hear it at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle.
Now it's time for Facebook Drama.
And BJ, once again, this is our opportunity to point out the morons that are on Facebook. This is an actual Facebook post. The drama unfolds because of it, and yes, we are all going to act it out. This time around, I'll be playing the role of the original poster, so I will be Taylor. Danny, you will be Heather.
Hooray!
BJ, you'll play the role of Eric.
Yes!
Rev, you will be Jasmine. Sweet. Vicky, you're Elizabeth.
Woo!
And Sarah, you will be Wade.
Oh, hey.
All right, so once again, the original poster is Taylor, so I'll start things off.
Take it away, buddy.
I act like a lady, but I think like a boss. Ooh. Remember that, people.
Ooh, girl, yes, I love this.
Not sure if you think like a boss, but I can guarantee that you do not act like a lady. Hashtag you a hoe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's funny that you even wrote that. Hashtag you a huge hoe.
I am not a hoe. Sorry your man decided to crawl into bed with me right after he dumped your ass. Oh, wait, I'm not sorry.
Glad you had fun with them sloppy seconds. Hashtag only hoes would like that.
Didn't you just dump EJ last Saturday? I mean, didn't AJ dump you? I know. You know what? Somebody dumped you.
Over car.
Yeah. Didn't AJ dump you last Saturday?
Yeah,
That's
at
it.
Julia's party.
And she slept with AJ that night. I tapped her ass the night before. Tay-Tay, you are a hoe.
2 guys in 1 weekend is not hoish. Live a little, guys.
What the F am I reading?
2 guys in 1 day? Now that's on the verge of hoish.
2 dudes in 1 day is, just on the verge of hoish? What the hell would make someone be a complete hoe then? Damn, girl, can I get your number? LOL.
What's that saying again? With friends like these, who needs enemies? Wow.
I'm not a hoe.
You a hoe. I'm sorry. You a hoe.
You a hoe. Just living a little, guys. Just living a little.
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah, why not?
Vicky knows what's up.
Vicky knows what's going on.
I don't understand why people have these conversations on Facebook.
Yeah, I really don't.
Let her throw her inspirational quote out there of acting like a lady and thinking like a boss.
Yeah.
Who is she hurting?
Where else would they have this scintillating conversation?
That's true.
I don't know what
At
acting...
church, Rev, this is where these conversations should be happening.
All right.
I would love to know her definition of what a lady is, though, because she thinks she acts like one. So I'd like to know, okay, what do you do that makes you think you're a lady?
Covers her private parts in public.
Okay, perfect. That's what
I think that's really all you need to do to be a lady.
Yeah. Well, Vicky, then you are a lady.
Yay!
See?
Vicky wins.
Congratulations.
Damn. It is funny. I mean, remember the old time you want a hoe in the bedroom and a lady in the front room? That old line.
It's like a mullet.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You want your women like your mullet.
And now I don't
Business
think
in front, party in the rear.
That's what it.
Wait,
is.
I'm not really into that.
In the back, not the rear.
Oh,
Yeah.
that too. I want my party in the front, actually.
Oh, do you want your party in the front?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
I'm more of a fan of the front.
I'll see what I can do for you.
Yeah.
All right, this is very interesting. I would love to hear what people have to say about this. I think the older the person, the more they're going to go, are you kidding me?
Uh-oh.
Teenagers all over the country are joining a movement to protest against having to stand up in front of their class to give a presentation. Why? Because public speaking can make them too anxious. Wow, even Danny is saying oi to this? I thought Danny would be the guy like, yeah, finally.
No, I took public speaking just like everyone else. Those kids better take it.
So because you went through hell, they have to go through hell.
Exactly.
That's a very nice way to think of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this protest started when a 15-year-old high school student who goes by the name of Lean, she was on Twitter and she tweeted earlier that she said, you know what? You need to stop forcing students to present in front of the class and give them a choice not to.
And stop teaching us how to spell properly and do math.
Yeah.
And learn how to cook.
Her tweet is now at
I didn't
over
learn how to cook.
500.
I wish I did, actually.
They used to do that back in the day.
I know.
I could use that.
Right? I wish they had that for when I was growing up.
I had it at my schools.
No, we didn't.
Well, it sucks to be you.
Clearly.
They still, so they were, what do they call it? Did they call it home ec?
We had it culinary arts is what it was called.
Culinary Arts 101.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that'd be awesome.
We made for the fall class, you did a Thanksgiving dinner. It was awesome.
They should incorporate that into like chemistry and biology classes, like in the lab. Instead of having to dissect a frog, teach us how to cook frog legs.
See, I snuck out of biology and ecology by going to horticulture instead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all science. I mean, baking and leavening agents and
Yeah, you have to know the exact number of ingredients to put in there. When am I ever going to need to dissect a frog in my life?
No, but you're going to need to cook frog legs.
I'm going to need to cook.
Yeah. I agree. There were classes that taught you a lot of life stuff that they don't do anymore.
Ours was home ec, and we learned how to cook, but we also learned how to iron and do laundry and all kinds of different stuff.
Yeah, I learned how to sew in the home ec class in middle school. We made pillows and pillowcases.
What schools were you guys going to? I missed out on all this awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Well, son of a bitch.
Well, you're a little older. I think you had your mother and father to make you do laundry and chores, where now you really have to be taught how to do some of these things.
I don't mean this to sound sexist. Remember, this is I'm talking about high school in the 90s, right? I went to an all-boys Catholic high school. Maybe they just thought, you know what? Men don't need to know this stuff.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Because the people that took home ec when I was going to school, it was I don't know any dudes that took home ec. It was always women.
Right. We didn't have that. But sex ed class was really funny, though, because they kind of incorporated that with the gym class. So the poor gym teacher just had to teach us how to use condoms. And you could just tell he wasn't feeling it. He's just like, look, guys, you know what to do. And I'm like, I don't know.
We don't.
No, we really don't. We don't know what to do. And he's just like,
Yeah, yeah.
He's just like, can't I just teach how to climb this rope?
As it were.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. When I'm climbing the rope, I don't want to get anybody pregnant. What do you, come on, help a brother out.
Why does it feel funny when I climb the rope?
Feels good. No.
Feels real good.
Well, it never felt good to me, but then again, I didn't have the right parts.
Yeah.
So public speaking, do you think that they should, I mean, it is a terrifying thing for everyone, but I almost feel like you need to experience how to give a speech in front of people, because I think about it, there's lots of times, even still to this day, you got it. I mean, I'm not even talking about the stage announcement that we do, but thank God, you had that experience just to kind of feel comfortable slightly in front of a big crowd. But sometimes you got to talk in front of a room full of people, and it's terrifying. It would be nice to be able to, get your muscle going for that, a little muscle memory.
I always liked those in class because I was the only one that didn't read off the presentation board. I've always kind of been good at it, but I could see why it is very anxious building for most kids, but you need to learn how to do that. Even just to talk one-on-one can be kind of nerve-wracking sometimes, so you need to learn that as a kid. So
that's the whole point of the class, is to get over that fear. They put you in front of it so you have practice doing it, so that way when you have to do it in real life, like a job...
You guys are old, man.
Scared.
You guys are old. Because
I have a reason why you need to know it.
Okay, why is that?
There's number one reason why.
Why is that?
Maid of honor speeches at weddings.
Yes.
Oh, you got alcohol to help you with that.
Bro.
Supposedly.
It does not help.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, I'll even throw best man speeches too, but more often than not, it's the maid of honor speech is by far one of the most cringe experience that you will ever have. I mean, it's just awkward. They're staring at a piece of paper. The story makes no sense.
And a lot of that has to do with nerves. They are terrified. See, what we forget is that we're asking children to basically participate in a process that pretty much every human being is terrified of, like even more terrified than jumping off cliffs. So it is interesting that we ignore this psychological trauma that we put these kids through. And I think as adults, you're right. We need to learn stuff, but where's the adversity line supposed to be? Because she's got over 500,000 combined retweets and likes and more than 138,000 comments, all supporting, pretty much all of them supporting what she's saying. And for me, I'm a weird guy. I like speaking in front of people. I hate going up to people one-on-one. And so if the people that get up in front of a bunch of people feel the same way I do when I go one-on-one, I can understand why they don't want to do it. It's terrifying.
But it's a fear that you can beat. Then you want to teach somebody how to conquer a fear. It's not a hard fear. We're not talking about jumping out of a plane. You're not going to die.
Well, the thing is, you feel like you are. It's not a nurturing environment, kids. That's the other thing. When you go to Toastmasters, you know those dudes there aren't there to make fun of you. But when you're in school, I think you're right, Steve. It's a skill we need to learn. I think we need to learn it later, where people are a little bit more understanding. Because man, I remember I was a big jerk because I was good at it. It was the only thing I was good at. So I made fun of all the jocks every time they get up there, and I would, oh yeah, you're really good at throwing a football, but hey, look at you. Because that was my way of trying to cope with, trying to be cool. And God, I don't know, man. We're very mean to each other at a young age.
One person says, "Teacher, can I just text my speech?" Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
that's next. Yeah, just text your speech and do a group text. Then it's kind of in front of a class.
Then you're kind of doing it in front of a class. Look, we live here in the Pacific Northwest, especially here in Western Washington. There are a lot of socially awkward people here, and so I think you're going to find a lot of folks in support of this. At least the groups that I know, a lot of folks I hang out with, it's just tough and then terrifying. There's a history teacher in Texas. Her name's Kathleen Carver. She's like, Steve, and she did say, Steve, things are just different today. We're in a day and age where we have to acknowledge our students' feelings. And that is
saying you don't just say, hey, suck it up, buttercup, and go out there and talk in front of everyone. One texter brings up a good point. How about also teach them techniques on how to handle the anxiety? That seems to be what's missing, which I'm not opposed to that. I think there could be ways to be able to help show somebody, look, I know this sounds terrifying, but here are some tips on how to be able to get through it instead of just being like, here, throw it in the fire. But a lot of people bring up a point. One person says, I go to UW as a student, and I can confirm that you better know how to present in college or you're going to fail, almost guaranteed in most majors.
Yeah. So what if they make that change, though? Then the colleges are going to have to make the change. You can't be flunking somebody out if the high schools and middle schools are basically saying we're not going to do this anymore. College is going to have to make the adjustment. You've got lawnmower parents and helicopter parents, and And yeah, you can go to college, and college is going to say,
I like how we went full circle to one of the first stories we did this morning about lawnmower parents.
Yeah, because the lawnmower parents are even worse than helicopter parents because they want to make sure that you have no adversity, and they will mow down. That's why they're called lawnmower parents now. They will mow down any adversity in your child's path.
So what's next? The parent's going to do the speech for the kid?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
I don't want to live in this world anymore.
I know colleges want to think they're tough, but if you want that money, and the parents will, they're the ones that have to give you that money. And if you're not letting your kids be treated nicely like they expect you to, you're not going to make any money. So I think colleges will have to make this adjustment if this indeed comes to light, that they say kids no more making speeches.
So we're handing the power over to the people that are
Who ever thought of that?
No, this is ridiculous when you think about it. Like, okay, I don't like history. You know what I mean? When I was growing up, I did not like going to history classes. So if I put out a tweet back, if let's just say Twitter existed back then, I put out a tweet and I get a bunch of retweets about it. So should we strike history from the classes? Because history gives me anxiety.
How many retweets are you getting?
Apparently 100,000 or something.
Oh, she
like
got 500,000.
Well, let's start small.
Okay, so if you get up to 100,000, I'll at least think about it. I'll be like, oh, maybe this Steve is onto something. But you know what? Frankly, if you don't get as much viral spreading as your Sun Chips video, I'm not going to go with it.
Well, I mean, that just seems nuts to me. And granted, again, I remember my first experience in high school, my history class, he went around asking questions, and if you got it wrong, he hit you in the back of the head with a little wood stick.
I missed those days.
That was fun.
Those were great days.
I guess. Yeah. He's dead now. So we won.
Yeah, we won.
Checkmate. Karma.
I'll show you, buddy.
I don't get it, man. Like, school's not always going to be fun. Learning is not always going to be fun. Sometimes you got to get out of your comfort zone and just accomplish certain things. And now we're handing over, here, if you don't like it, put out a tweet, get a bunch of retweets, and we'll strike it from our program.
Here's the thing everyone's got to understand. And see, Steve, where's the line? Adversity will create greatness. And Whiplash, that movie, we've had a big fight about it. And some people think that, that Whiplash movie about the abusive drum teacher. But the thing is, that drum teacher knew that adversity will create greatness. If this guy wanted to be the greatest of the greats, then I got to put you through adversity. So where's the adversity line? That's the question. And the answer? Well, Steve?
One person says, life is terrifying. Get over it. You have to work. You have to learn. You have to do scary things sometimes. And that's from Pete.
Hey, Pete, look.
Pete's right.
Pete's right. But also, Pete, you'll rise to the crop if nobody else believes that. You'll always be great while everybody else will be lawnmower parented. So I look at it like, let them lawnmower parent. It makes me look better when I believe what you guys believe.
I didn't get the job because Pete was way more qualified. I'm going to put out a tweet, and if I get 500,000 tweets, maybe they'll fire him and give me the job because that's how I learned in school.
We're already doing that, I mean, because, look, I'm all for equal pay for everybody, but people are using the equal pay, which is a really cool thing. They're using that to basically say, you know what, if you're better than me, that shouldn't matter. That's what we're using, and I don't like that. That's what I think the whole idea of equal pay for the genders, and I have no problem with it, equal pay for anybody and equal hiring. I think that's a great thing. Hire somebody based on their merits and nothing else, but people are now hiding behind equal pay saying, oh no, your merits shouldn't count. It's because I've been treated this way for the whole, or my people have, if you will. And it's like, you haven't suffered anything. I agree that your ancestors may have, or even people came before you, but you're saying I should give you a job because you didn't suffer, but somebody else did? No, how about we give you a job based on your merits? How about that? And you know what? It ain't happening, Steve.
We went to the Puyallup Fair, or Washington State Fair on Monday, and there was a part where they have like these, they show you an example of what used to be called stump homes. This is like a tree stump, and they put a roof over it, and that's how people lived.
What?
I kind of want to go back to those days, man. This is just ridiculous.
I never even heard of a stump home.
Oh, that's pretty dope, man.
Damn, they hollow out a stump and put a roof on it?
Yeah, and they even had an example, and I walked in, and all I could think is this would cost $300,000 in Seattle.
Yeah, it would.
Dude, if you Google image search those are so cool.
Right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I want to live in a stump home. It's like you're a hobbit.
Exactly, yeah. But for adult size.
I feel like one of them Alaskan bush people that those guys on TV. I'd love that.
These are cool.
All right, I really wouldn't love that because I want my electronics and stuff. All right,
one person thinks of a good point. If you can't handle adversity, do meth.
Oh, well, that's...
All right, then. Maybe we need to put meth in all the vending machines at schools.
Yeah. It is a challenge to know how much to challenge your kids and not. It is. And it seems like we're getting less and less challenge-oriented in our society. And maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. And when Danny sighs, you know it's a problem. When Danny has a problem with it...
Yeah.
I'm
proud of you, Danny.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for staying on Team Stump Home.
You're welcome. You want to watch Titanic?
Yeah, see, that was the problem. Yeah. See, Danny started. He doesn't know that he's really the epicenter of this issue. Yesterday, Steve, he got this one right.
What is the last U.S. state alphabetically?
Wyoming.
Yes. You were even surprised by that.
I hit puberty when I asked that answered that question.
I think you thought, do I know this answer? I do. You want a shot at beating Steve? You got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Migs at 847 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. Here's another question from a listener. How long is a bankruptcy going to affect my credit rating?
Of course, most of the time, by the time we're talking about filing a bankruptcy, the credit has already taken a huge hit. Chapter 7 is going to affect it more negatively than Chapter 13. Chapter 7 stays on your credit report for 10 years from the time you file. It usually takes 7 or 8 years for your credit scores to get back into the normal range in a Chapter 7 case. However, your credit will start to recover even in Chapter 7 after about a year. You'll be able to get credit again right away, usually before your case is even over. Chapter 13 stays on your credit report for 7 years and usually takes about 3.5 years for your credit to get back in the normal range. So Chapter 13 will mean your credit gets better much more rapidly.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
Severe debt, hiding your activity, lying, borrowing, stealing, depression. These are just a few of the symptoms of problem gambling. Hey, it's Eric Powers on Hot 103.7. Sure, betting is fun, but when it becomes a problem, it affects you and those closest to you. There is help. Don't be afraid to talk with my friends at the Evergreen Council on Problem Gambling. Call or text their free 24/7 helpline at 1-800-547-6133 or visit evergreencpg.org. Take back your life.